not no entity. We got the Most High power. Most High, he just telling you who created all. We got a relationship with the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. He just told you who created all of it. The Most High created all things through Mashiach Yahushua. Verse 17, Colossians 1:7, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Okay, and he is the head of the body, the church. That's us, we the children of Israel, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead. That is, that in all things he might have the preeminence. The firstborn from the dead. Mashiach Yahushua. So, go to St. John, the first chapter, the first verse. In the beginning, went to the beginning, Genesis 1:1. People talking about, this is before the Bible. What was before the earth was formed? What people was here before the earth was formed? So anybody say that's before the Bible, just go to the Genesis 1:1. In the beginning. Just what we're seeing here. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was Mashiach Yahushua. Right? The same was in the beginning with the Most High. That's properly understanding. But if you read it like it's written, it say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. So how are you going to be in the beginning with itself? So it don't make any sense. That's why I said he added that word God in there. If you read it like it's written, you won't get to understanding. But we don't have to go to the Old Testament. Everything is from the Old Testament, but let's go to Hebrews. Because it say God, right? Go to Hebrews, the first chapter. And verse 8. Hebrews 1:8. But unto the Son, who was the Mashiach Yahushua, the only begotten Son, you know that in John 3:16. For God so loved the world, for the Most High so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son. We just read about him in Revelation 3:14. And Most High created everything else through a Mashiach Yahushua. It says, but unto the Son, who was a Mashiach Yahushua, he said, thy throne, O God. Most High's telling him this, calling him this, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. Righteousness is, in Deuteronomy 6:25, the keeping of the commandments, is a scepter or the rulership of thy kingdom. Thou hast loved righteousness, love to keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, follow the Most High's rules and regulations, being obedient to the Most High, and hated iniquity, hated wickedness, hated sins, and those that do sin. Therefore, God, see, now let me ask you a question. Do the Most High have a power over him? Because you just see it. That's why I say you read it just for what they have written here, putting that word in there, you might not get the understanding. But it's going to say, therefore, God, even thy God. So the Most High have a power over him? What's his name? If thou might say. No. Therefore, God, so the Most High is calling the Mashiach Yahushua God or power. Even thy power, even your power, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows, above the angels. You see? So, and he's quoting from the Old Testament, because that's all they had to go by, is the law of the prophets. This is something you got to program in your mind so that it can help you to see more of and to be able to deal with somebody that don't believe in the New Testament. That's because they don't know it. Look at Psalms 45:6. This is what they're quoting from. That's why I say when you read the New Testament, you got to know where it's coming from. He's quoting from all they had to go by was the law and the prophets. And when you understand this, it'll help you to be able to understand more of what's going down here. Psalms 45:6. Thy throne, O God, as it's written here, thy throne, O God, who represent who? Is forever and ever. Thy throne, O Hamashiach Yahushua, is forever and ever. Thy throne, O God, O power, Hamashiach Yahushai, is forever and ever. The scepter, the powers and authority of thy kingdom is a right scepter, a right rulership of powers and authority. Thou lovest righteousness and hateth wickedness. Now it's giving you the definition of iniquity, as it said in the New Testament. That's why I say you go from the old to the new, and you get understanding to the precepts. Thou lovest righteousness and hateth wickedness, right? In the New Testament it said, Salak, thou lovest righteousness and hateth iniquity, right? So here we get the understanding of the definition of iniquity. Psalm 45:7. Thou lovest righteousness and hateth wickedness. So iniquity is wickedness. Therefore, God, I ask you again, do the Most High have a God that's over him, a power that's over him? No. That's why I say, therefore, God, thy God, your God, has anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. The same thing what you read in the New Testament in Hebrews. You see? So, that's why when you see God, sometimes it can be the Most High, sometimes it can be the Most High of the Mashiach Yahushai. Or sometimes it be a Mashiach Yahushai, as we just reading. Going back to John, the 1st chapter. So now that you know Mashiach Yahushai is called, no, before we go there, go to Psalms 82:6. But we, the men of Israel, listen, Psalm 82:6. I have said, ye are gods. You say, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. See? Then David is saying what? Crom Abanawa Yahweh, arise, Most High, judge the earth, or for thou shalt inherit all nations. You hear that? Most High got to rise before anyone gonna rise. I mean, over and over again, I see David saying this. Rise, arise, Most High. He gonna rise. Remember, he's sitting down. You gonna stand up, and Mashiach sitting on the right hand side of the Most High, tell him to stand up, arise, and come to judge and make war. Then Israel gonna be rise. Then we gonna rise. Okay, go back to Jeremiah 33. Verse 25. Thus said the Most High, if my covenant, my contract, my agreement be not with day and night, as we read, first creation that he created through a Mashiach Yahushai, the spirit of the Most High, or the angel of the Most High. Thus said the Most High, if my covenant, my agreement that I have, my contract that I have, be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of David, seed of Jacob, and David my servant, so that I will not take any of the seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them always. So you're going to cause our captivity to return. You're going to have mercy on Jacob. As it says in Isaiah the 14th chapter, first verse, Most High will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. They shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And we should take them and bring them to their place for servants and handmaids. They shall rule over their oppressors. That's prophecy to happen. So, Paul said in Romans 11:1, I say then, Romans 11:1, I say then, had the Most High cast away his people? We in the New Testament, we say, had the Most High cast away his people? Most High forbid, emphatically, no. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. He would be a so-called Jamaican. He walked the earth. That's why he was mistaken for African, an Egyptian. Most High had not cast away his people which he foreknew. That we're reading about. That he knew in the Old Testament. Because we still here. And he said, remember what he said initially? I haven't forgot that. They can measure the heavens and the sea, and what's beyond below the earth, then we'll cease as to be in a nation. And he said, Jeremiah 33 and 25. Thus said the Most High, if my covenant, my agreement, my contract be not with day and night, first creation that he made, by Mashiach Yahushua, the first day, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. For I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them. Yes. Go to Jeremiah 30th chapter. Verse 3. But lo, the days come in the future, prophecy, said the Most High, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, northern tribes and the southern tribes, all 12 tribes. Said the Most High. The Most High said this, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Isaiah, hold that, Isaiah 14 and 1. I'll paraphrase, quoting it, and see what it says. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel and set them, we the Israelites, in their own land. Just like he just said. And the strangers, these other nations, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. See? They're going to cleave to the house of Jacob. These other nations. The strangers, they are strangers. Look at 2 Samuel 1 and 13. Prove who these strangers are. 2 Samuel, the first chapter, the 13th verse. 2 Samuel, first chapter, 13th verse. Proving who these strangers are. Second Samuel, the first chapter, 13th verse. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? Who are you? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. Right? The son of a stranger, an Amalekite. That's not an Israelite. Amalekite would be what we would consider today a Jewish person. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Most High's anointed? What, you afraid to touch the Most High's anointed, the first king we had, Saul? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near him and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. He killed him. And David said unto him, as he dying, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth has testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Most High's anointed. Remember, David could have killed Saul. He was after him to kill him. Cut off his garment. As his garment said, look, man, I could have killed you. But he didn't. It's Most High's anointed. Got to look at that. So, going back to Isaiah 14:1. So we prove that these, well, you need more proof. Go to Genesis 36th chapter. And Genesis 36:1. Now these are the generation of Esau, who is Edom, which means red, the red people, the indigenous so-called Caucasian people. Verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir, Mountain Seir. That's what the land that the Most High gave them in the mountains, but it's Mountain Seir. Esau is Edom, right? So now you're going down to verse 12. It says, and Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. So Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. So it's a Edomite. Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife, right? So Amalek became a nation that's what we read about them in Psalms 83rd chapter. Amalekites or Amalekites, whichever however you want to pronounce it. So that's who the Amalek is. Stranger to us. Because you have two types of stranger. You have a stranger, just a moment. You have a stranger that is of an Israelite that's we don't know, and a stranger that is of another nation. Just a moment.